This conference will now be recorded.
Thank you, Land Judy, fellow lands. The Land's Prayer, where lands meet, be present, Lord, to weld our hearts in one accord, to do thy will, Lord, make us strong, to aid the weak and right the wrong. Amen.
Thanks, Land Carries. What a wonderful opportunity we have. I think I should say courtesy of COVID-19 for us to meet this way. It would have been nicer to meet face to face, but that would prove difficult at this time. So we're going to use the facilities we have, and we are sure that at the end of it, we will all be able to say it was good to have been here. I want to welcome you all to this, our first online training for zone and region chairpersons. We have some specially invited guests, and we want to welcome them warmly. They will be introduced in a little while. I have special welcome though for the participants. It is nice to see that we are up to 23 at this time, and I hope that before very long the others will join us. We are expecting to have all zone and region chairpersons represented here. I think that would be a total of 15 lions. And then through first Vice District Governor-elect Lion Claudio, he has brought into our fold 2 lions who he's looking at to be a part of his team when he takes up office in 2021-22. So we need to welcome them too. And then I'm not sure if Lion Diana is here yet, but oh yes, she is. But she is coming as an observer. You see, Lion Diana will join Lion Sherwin and myself as the leadership team for 2020-2021. So she's giving a listening ear, so she will better understand what she will have to do next year. Let me take this opportunity to welcome and introduce Lion Paulette McGregor. He is the leadership representative for Region 4, and Lion Paulette has worked toe-to-toe with me on planning of all of these online training sessions. So a special welcome to you, Lion Dr. Paulette McGregor.
Thank you very much, Lindsay. Good evening, everyone.
Lion Paulette is here. Are you hearing me, Lion Paulette?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Okay, I'm saying that you are here not just as a member of the leadership team, but also because you are being trained to take on the role of the region chairperson in Region 4.
Yeah.
The faculty members, very important to this, because without them we would not have training. And we have Lion Sherwin, who will be training tonight. We also have in our midst Lion Malcolm, who will be on tomorrow night. That's Thursday. And on Friday, we have Lion Lindell, who is absent because we have a club meeting. The Mandeville Club has a meeting tonight, and he's chairing that meeting. And also Lion Isaac, who is here with us. Special welcome must be extended also to Lion Maureen Graham, our district governor-elect. She's here. And we also have to welcome, along with her, Lion Claudia Buncampo, first Vice District Governor-elect.
You check the commission, it's not so great, but when you get a chance.
And Lion Nicholas da Costa, second Vice District Governor-elect. We also have in our midst our own district governor and the council chair-elect, Lion Denise Forrest, and we would like to welcome her warmly. And as we move quickly through this part of the program, I'm going to turn the microphone over to Lion Denise and ask her to bring brief greetings. Lion Denise.
Thank you, Lion Judy. Good evening, my fellow Lions. I very much appreciate the opportunity that Lion Judy has afforded me. I have to admit that I have to run off to another meeting, but I really wanted to take this opportunity to do two things. One, to congratulate all of those persons who will be serving as region and zone chairs and those in the future, and to wish you all the very best and hope that this training session will be tremendously beneficial to you. The other thing I just wanted to say, I really am delighted. I couldn't make the year end without expressing my delight at what we've been able to accomplish in pulling this off. And to this, I am really, really very, very pleased with the work of the global leadership team. And I thought that I should, make this known that they have been outstanding in their efforts, starting from Lion Shirley Kittel Hendricks, who is a coordinator through whose efforts we got the grant to host this event, and through the work of Lion Judy King and Lion Dr. Paul McGregor, who have, working with our facilitators, been able to structure this this training session, which is so very, very important for preparing our Lion leaders. So it would really have been remiss of me, and I didn't want to miss this as perhaps my last opportunity to say publicly the debt of gratitude that the district owes them for the work that they're doing and the building blocks that we're putting in place to ensure that our Lion leaders are trained. So I am absolutely sure with the quality of your facilitators, who I also wish to thank on your behalf, that you will have a very, very informative, productive, a wonderful learning experience, and one that you will be able to take into the work that you have to do on the ground. So again, Lion Judy, Lion and the team, thank you on behalf of the district for your excellent work. We're really very happy that this was made possible despite all the barriers and challenges that we've had during the period. And I wish you a most successful days over the next few days. Thank you very much for the opportunity to have said a few words. Pardon me if I slip out, but thank you, I really appreciate it.
Thanks for your remarks, Lion District Governor, and you are most welcome. I know I speak on behalf of Lion Paulette and myself when I say we were guided by you, and for that we thank you. So let us move on now. I would like to introduce to you your presenter for tonight. Your presenter is Lion Sherwin Greenwich, PMJF, past council chairperson. Lion Sherwin hails from the parish of St. Philip in the country of Barbados. He is a member of the Lions Club of Barbados East, and he has been since 1991. He has served in many positions in the association. In recognition of this service, he has received numerous awards, including Lion of the Year, President of the Year, Zone Chairman of the Year, Lions Club's International Membership Builder Award, and the International President Certificate of Appreciation. Lion Sherwin is a customer service consultant and trainer. Past Council Chairperson Sherwin is driven by his mantra, which is, people won't remember what you said or did. They will remember how you made them feel. So I turn you over now to our feel-good presenter, Lion Sherwin Greenwich, PMJF, past Council Chairperson. Lion Sherwin.
Hi, good evening. It seemed that my camera went missing, so I'll try to get that back on in a minute. Oops. Are you, I guess you're not seeing me. Is this? Are you hearing me? You think I'm back? My apologies.
We are hearing you, Lion Sharon, but we're not seeing you.
I try to get my screen back up now.
Okay.
I think we are in business now again. Good evening, Lions.
Good evening, Lion Sharon.
It's nice to hear you. You know, you're all set, and then just when you're about to start, something goes wrong, as Murphy would say. So we are back on. It's so good to have our region and zone chairpersons and guests with us. And I hope that at the end of this session, you would be able to have said to yourself, I've achieved the objectives. This evening, we are going to be looking at identifying the requirements for your journey as a region or zone chairperson. We're going to describe the zone and region chairperson's roles, and we're going to review the zone and region chairperson's responsibilities, look at how you should plan for your term, and finally, we will review the skills that you may require for success. Remember, as Len Allen said earlier, if you have any questions, you can raise them in the chat, or you can stop me at any time and ask your questions. Remember, the session is about you, so try to gather as much information as you can from the session and ask as many questions that may come to mind at the moment. We want that at the end of this session, you will be all ready and geared up to commence your roles from July the 1st. So, some of you may not know, some of you. So we're going to start with an icebreaker. And I'm going to ask you to just indicate your name, the name of your club, the length of time as a lion, how did you become a lion, and your most memorable lion experience. We're going to start with the region chairs first. And let me see who's going to be bold and start from the region chairs. So I'm waiting.
Good night, Lion Sharon, Lion Allen here.
Thank you, Lion Allen. I knew that you were going to be first.
Okay, Lion Allen Alexander, name of the club, Antigua Lions Club, I've been aligned for 25 years this year. I became aligned through being sponsored by a co-worker of mine who was my my engineer when I first got to LIAT. He sponsored me. Sadly, he is deceased right now. He is deceased, but I'm eternally grateful for him starting me on this journey. My most memorable Lions experience, there are so many and varied. I think everyday serving is the experience.
Are you in the training, Francella? All right, okay.
Thank you, Lions. That's me. Very good.
Yes. Thank you, Elaine Alexander, and happy anniversary.
Thank you.
I'm sure you've enjoyed those 25 years of service. So who's going to go next? Region chairs. Region 1, you just joined.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. So region chairs, don't be shy. I'm letting on you to introduce yourself.
Okay. This is
Lion
Elijah.
Francella Whitaker. Lion Francella Whitaker, Region 1 Chairman.
Thank you. Can you give me the name of your club, the length of time as a Lion? How did you become a Lion, and your most memorable experience as a Lion?
Yes, I was introduced to be a Lion by another Lion, but that Lion has left the movement, but I still remain. I'm from the Lions Club of Porus. I'm from the Lions Club of Porus.
Yes, and what was your most memorable Lion experience?
Yes, I have a very because it has developed my leadership skills and my communication skills and helped me to interact more with people of all classes.
Very, very good. So therefore, I'm sure you will enjoy your experience as region chairperson.
Yes, I have been enjoying it already and trying to make a difference.
Very good. So thank you for sharing that with us. I see Elaine Paulette, Dr. Paulette want to share hers. So we go ladies first.
Good evening, fellow Lions. I'm Dr. Paulette McGregor. The name of my club is the Lions Club of St. Andrew. I have been a Lion for 24 years. I became a Lion because there was a new club being chartered in my area at the time, and I was invited to be a part of the new club. And in fact, I was the charter member of that club. That was the Lions Club of Bridgeport at the time. I was invited by Lion Dudley Lawler from the Spanish Town Club. He was the guiding lion at the time, and Lion Sonia Ormsby from the St. Andrew Club.
Oh.
So those are the two Lions who got me involved in Lionism 24 years ago, and I became the charter president for the Lions Club of Bridgeport. After leaving the Lions Club of Bridgeport, I then joined the Lions Club of St. Andrew, and I have been there since that time.
Yes. And you've had many memorable Lions experiences.
Oh, indeed. Lionism 24 years was quite enjoyable. And I enjoyed the traveling to go to the various meetings within the district and indeed some of the international meetings as well. So it has been a good journey for me. And I will enjoy being region chair. I was zone chair 4 years ago. Yes. And I'm coming in as the region chair, which I think I will thoroughly enjoy.
And I know you will enjoy. You've benefited from your service, and Line Sonia is on, and I'm sure Line Sonia feels proud to know you've risen now to become a region chair after she saw service in you and knew that you would have been an asset to our organization. So thank you, Elaine, Dr. Paulette.
Thank you so much, and it's my pleasure.
You're welcome. Yes, Lane Jefferson.
Hi, good evening, Lion Sharon. Good evening, Lions. Glad to be a part of the team this year. I must thank Lion Maureen for the opportunity to serve at this level. I'm Jefferson, Lion Jefferson Curtin. I came to the Lions Club of Scotland District back in 2005. I was invited by a neighbor, Lion Anthony, after the club was experiencing some problems with membership. So I came to the club at a point when the club was just at the point of rebuilding. And I had a wonderful experience trying to help make that club. I think the most wonderful experience of that time would have been when I came in 2005. The club wanted to do a project, a major project, a shelter in the rural part of St. George and St. Andrew. And most of you will know that I'm a building contractor by profession. So that was, I had jumped into that head and shoulder. And I think that is what really kept me going, that we could do. Since then, I think we've done about 2 or 3 other bus shelters in the rural parts of St. Andrew and St. Joseph, the areas that we serve. So with that, this year I've had the opportunity to chair the multiple district convention, which didn't come off. I'm still the chairman of the mid-year conference, and I hope that will come off and that I will see as many of you here in Barbados between November 4th and November 7th. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lion Jefferson. And I want to congratulate you. I remember that in 2005, when I was zone chair, and we were experiencing problems with that club, and you joined. And I'm so proud to recognize that the Scotland Club is one of the clubs doing great work in Zone 3A after going through that period. So we look forward to your work as region chairperson. Yes, we're going to have just about 4 more zone chairs now, and then we're going to leave the others until later. So Zone Chair Region 1A, if you're on. Zone Chair from 1B.
Good evening, fellow Lions. My name is Ron Powell. I'm a member of the Lions Club of Mandeville, Jamaica. I've been a Lion now for the past 8 years. I became a Lion. I was introduced by a former co-worker of mine. I'm a member of the Jamaica Fire Brigade. And he mentored me into the movement. He's still a member of the movement. One of my most memorable moments as a Lion was when I had the opportunity to visit our 100th anniversary in Chicago. And that brought to me so much was exposed, having meeting Lions from all over the world, persons not even understanding what they were saying, but recognizing that we all, wherever we are, had one goal: to serve. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I remember your presence there in Chicago. That was also a memorable time for me. So thank you.
Zone 1A is here.
Thank you. Then Sonia. Oh. 1A, go ahead.
Okay. My name is good night, fellow Lions. My name is Vilma Campbell. I am the zone chairperson for 1A. I joined the club in 2015. So I have been in the club for 5 years now. How did I become a Lion? Service was always a part of me, and I really wanted to make my contribution to a service club. I visited Kiwanis, I visited Optimus, and I visited I don't remember the name, but I wasn't satisfied. And I remember one evening I went to pick up my daughter at high school, and I saw this lady with a pin on her chest that says Lion. And I asked her, I said, I'm interested in joining a service club to offer service. And she said, she invited me to Lions Club. And since then, I have been really enjoying my time as a Lion. And I hope to be able to make a big difference in my club and my zone. I am from the Montego Bay Club. I don't think I've had any very memorable experience as yet. I do have experiences, but I would consider them as that. I'm looking for that height. So I gradually know that I will get there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Elaine Vilman. I thank you for making that wonderful choice of joining the world's largest service organization, having recognized that we provide much more service than the others. And I'm sure that after this year, you will say that you had a memorable experience. So thank you for that. Yes, Zone 2A.
Hello, good evening, fellow Lions.
Good evening.
You can hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Okay. My name is Donna Freeman. The name of my club is the St. Thomas Lions Club. That's in the U.S. Virgin Islands. The length of time as a Lion, I'm in the club for like 16 years. How did I become a Lion? I was introduced by Lion Karina Thomas. It was a journey over to Tatol, and I saw this beautiful uniform, and I was in the back line. She was in front of me, and I mentioned to her, how can I join? And she took my number, and when she came back, I came to the meeting, and from then on, I became a Lion. My most memorable experience that I had was going to the senior homes for Christmas and also at Thanksgiving to feed the dinners to the elderly. And why was it memorable? Because just going up and having to feed them and assisting the nurses and things inside of the area and taking water, whatever they need, and feeding them. And we normally provide the food because we are not allowed, but our club will always donate the food. So that's one of my experiences that I have being a Lion.
Thank you, Landonna, and I am sure that you will enjoy this experience as a zone chair. To be?
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Lion Carmen Lake. I've been a member of the St. Martin Lions Club, member 6 years now. I became a member through our first vice, incoming first vice, Lion Claudio. As a teenager, I used to hang out with the Leo Club. My friends were Leos, and and at every event I would be there, and eventually became a Leo, according to Lion Claudio. So he invited me to be a member of the St. Martin Lions Club, which I gladly did. My girls were older. One was almost on the way out to college, and the second one was, can do for herself. So I had more time to be able to devote to doing stuff, to do things for our community. So I gladly joined the club. My most memorable experience in Lionism, like a previous speaker said, there's so much you can't really say which one was the most. But this Sunday past, we did a project where for the diabetics on the island, we provided them food basket with provision and healthy food for diabetics. Because of the COVID-19, a lot of people lost their jobs and are underemployed. And even though the government try and help people with food baskets, the food that was given was not healthy for persons with diabetics. So we went out and we distributed the food. And the third person we went to, the person was like almost like to tears. She was like, this was her, like she had just probably had her last meal, and now to see us out of the blue, she wasn't expecting it. She didn't know, and for us to be able to provide that service to her was so very, it felt so special. Another person, after we left, they called us back to thank us for the food basket and prayed over the Lions Club and asked God to protect the Lions Club. because of the good things that we are doing in the community of St. Martin, and I am pretty sure it's the same for every lion throughout the district, throughout the world, who go out and do for their communities.
So thank you, Elaine Carmen, and it just reminds us that our service do make a difference. So thank you for that. And to C.
Yeah, I'm Davidson Charles, and good evening to all Lions and Lion Sherwin. Good evening.
Good evening, Elaine.
Yes, a name.
Elaine Davidson, yeah. My previous boss.
Yeah. Well, no, my boss too. Yes, I'm from the Antigua Lions Club. I joined the Lions Club in 1995, the year of Hurricane Louis, and that was a year that there's a lot of service being done. I always wanted to give back to the community, and at the time it was Trevor Vigo, who had my sponsor, and invited me to become a Lion that very same year because of the different things that we were doing. You know, interestingly, Lion Allen, who's also on the call, we joined on the very same night in 1995, and the former DG, he will always say that. So, you know, I've been around for a while. My most memorable experience actually, so I always wanted to serve. For me, what's indelible is we have Wednesday luncheon that we go out and give to the needy in a particular community. So it is that giving back and giving and visiting each of the older people and giving them their lunch that day and seeing how they're so happy. They just want to see someone. Most importantly, though, they wanted to talk and to talk with someone. And when you bring the food, that's even better. So it's one of the most memorable experience for me. It's indelible in my mind. Simple, but it's for me it epitomizes the culture that we have of giving service and service to those who need.
So thank you, Elaine Davidson. I'm sure that you and Elaine Allen is going to make a wonderful team working together. You join together, and now you will serve together Region 2. I know with excellence. So thank you for sharing, Lions. The other Lions will get the opportunity to share a little later when I believe that you may get a little sleepy and I want to bring you back to life again. So thank you, those Lions who shared, and I recognize the passion, and I'm sure that we have chosen a good group of leaders to take us forward. So you've been asked to be a region chair and to be a zone chair. And to do that, it requires some preparation, both mentally and I know physically. And you have to prepare for that journey. And the great Chinese philosopher said, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And that step begins tonight as you prepare to take on your role as region and zone chairs. So the journey begins. And for you, region and zone chairs, the first 30 days are going to be very critical in your journey. It is during that time that you actually prepare for your term as region and zone chairs. So if you haven't already, I would suggest that you meet with your predecessor to determine whether or not there are any outstanding challenges in the club that you need to be in the zone or the region that you need to be made aware of. There might be projects that were not completed, especially at this time since the introduction of COVID, that you may want to continue. So you need to meet with your predecessors within the first 30 days, and you can at least start meeting by now to see exactly what you need, what you can share, and especially to build that partnership going forward, because even though they may be outgoing as zone or region chair, it doesn't mean that they will disappear. They're supposed to be there to help you along your way. You also want to be able to communicate with the members of the District Governors Advisory Committee. So as zone chairs, the District Advisory Committee is made up of the presidents and the secretaries and treasurers of the clubs. So you will need to find out who those persons are and to touch base with them very, very early to make yourself acquaint yourself with them and let them know who you are. And at that time, you'll also want to schedule dates and locations for your zone and region meetings. So within those 30 days, those are three what I will consider critical things that you will need to consider doing within the first 30 days. So by the end of July, you should have met with your predecessor. You should have communicated with the presidents, secretaries, and treasurers, those persons of the Governor's Advisory Committee. Even if you might not schedule a meeting with them, at least communicate to them by email where you introduce yourselves. And then after that introduction, then you can work with them to determine and schedule the dates and locations of your zone and region meetings. Also, part of the journey is to familiarize yourself with the district organization. You need to be, now you've taken on a more responsibility as a zone and region chair, you need to understand the makeup of the district organization. That is very critical to you. And what is the structure of the district cabinet? It's made up of the past district governor, immediate past district governor, the cabinet secretary treasurer, region chairpersons, the first and second vice district governors, the zone chairs, and then you have the district operational committees, and you would recognize where you sit, the region chairs, this is where you sit, and the zone chairs, this is where you sit in the district structure. The zone chairs will report to the region chairs. You will hear a little more about that later. But this general area is where the region and zone chairs sit as it relates to the structure of the cabinet. And it is very important that you understand your role and your responsibilities, as I will share later. But as the region and zone chair, you also make up the global action team. And this is where the region and zone chairpersons, this is where you sit as part of the district global action team, which is chaired by the district governor. So you, along with the GLT district coordinator, the GMT district coordinator, and the GST district coordinator will make up the district global action team chaired by the district governor. And you will be there to share and contribute to that team. So what are the roles of the zone and region chairpersons? I hope you have some pen and paper because you will need some pen and paper shortly. So get it ready. What are the roles of the zone and region chairpersons? The zone chairperson is the link between the clubs and the districts. Zone chairpersons, you are the link between the clubs in your zone and the district. Region chairpersons, you are the link between the zones and the district. So just to remind you where you sit, region chairpersons, you are that link between the district officers and the zone. You are the link between the members of the District Governor Advisory Committee, and you contribute to the district through that structure. The zone and region chairpersons are also members, as I said earlier, of the District Global Action Team. So you'll be called upon by your district governor to contribute to that team, working alongside your leadership coordinator, the membership coordinator, and your service coordinator. So what are your responsibilities as zone and region chairpersons? What are these responsibilities? Can you name, this is where your pen and paper comes in now. Can you name all of the zone and region chairpersons' responsibilities? So the region chairpersons, I want you to concentrate on what you believe your responsibilities would be. And zone chairpersons, I want you to concentrate on what you believe your responsibilities would be. So for 3 minutes, I want you to write down what you believe your responsibilities are. Region chairpersons, you do that, and zone chairpersons, you write what you believe your responsibilities are. And after we've gone through them, we will see how many of them you were able to include in your list. So you have about 2 to 3 minutes. I will tell you when that time is up. Lovely. You can place that paper aside and we'll come back to it to see how good you were or what preparation you did when you were told that you were going to be region or zone chair. And I believe you would have gone to Google to see what those responsibilities were that you were getting into. So we'll see how many of them you were able to capture as I go along. So, the responsibilities of the region chairpersons. Under the standard form of district contribution of bylaws, section 10D, region chairpersons, the region chairperson is subject to the supervision and direction of the district governor and shall be the chief administrative officer in his or her region. So region chairpersons, remember you now have a responsibility of being the chief administrative officer in your region. But remember, they are also subject to the supervision and direction of the district governor. As I said earlier, you are a member of the district global action team. And if you were not aware, you are aware now, you're also a member of the district 60B forward implementation team. And we'll do a little bit on that later so that you understand those responsibilities. So yes, you're a member of the district global action team, and you are a member of the District 60B Forward Implementation Team. Your other responsibilities are to further the purposes of our association, region chairs. You are supposed to further the purposes of Lions Club International, supervise the activities of the zone chairpersons in his or her zone, and any committee chairpersons that may be assigned by your district governor. So as region chair, yes, you would supervise the zone chairperson, but your district governor may also give you some additional work by asking you to supervise some of our district committee chairpersons. You will work with the zone chairpersons to promote the club quality initiatives to the clubs within your region. So the district governor and international will share those club quality initiatives with you, and you will work together to promote those in the region. You will play a very active role in organizing new clubs. Yes, region chairs. Don't believe that the zone chair, that is their responsibility. The zone chairs will have many responsibilities, but as region chair, you are also required to seek out where you can find and organize new clubs. I know that Lane Maureen has a challenge to increase the number of clubs in the district. So you as region chair, you will work with her or to work with your zone chairs who might identify opportunities for a new club and work towards organizing a new club. But very, very importantly, your responsibility as region chair is also to strengthen weak clubs. So there's some weak clubs that may be identified in your region where membership may be low, where activities and reporting may be scarce or non-existent. You are required as region chair to work with those clubs to strengthen them. And if there are any clubs in your region that may be placed in status quo, your responsibility as region chair is to work with those clubs to take them out of the status quo status. You may be required as region chair to make official visits on the district governor's behalf if requested. And especially at this time of COVID, where the district governor may not be able to visit the 58 or so clubs within the district, they may ask you as region chair to take on that responsibility, especially if you are in the area where none of the vice district governors are located. You may be asked. So just recognize that if you are asked, it is expected that you will accept. So you may be asked to visit the club and do the official visit on the district governor's behalf. You'll be required to give timely reports to the governor on situations in the region. So where you recognize that there may be clubs or zones that require assistance or require the assistance or the direction of the district governor, you are supposed to keep your district governor appraised of those situations so that they can be resolved quickly. You're also required to assist the Global Leadership District Coordinator to organize and conduct seminars for the district and club offices within your region. So you'll be working very closely. So don't believe that as a region chair, you would have worked hard as a zone chair, then you can now begin to breathe. No, we have work for you as a region chair. So I know that you'll be checking your list. We'll get to that shortly to see how many of those responsibilities you were able to record. Remember, you can ask any questions if you feel to. The responsibilities of the zone chairpersons. Under the standard form of district constitution and bylaws, section 10E, zone chairpersons, you have some responsibilities. The zone chairperson is subject to the supervision and direction of the district governor and or region chairperson. So zone chairpersons, you are subject to the direction of the district governor and or the region chairperson and is the chief administrative officer in his or her zones. The zone chairperson is also a member of the district global action team and a member of the district 60B forward implementation team. So you have that responsibility. You are part of the global action team where you work with your GLT, GMT, and GST coordinators, but you're also required to work on the implementation team for the District 60B Forward to ensure that clubs, and especially those who are taking part in the pilot, that they continue on their path with the District 60B Forward. You're also required, like the region chairpersons, to further the purposes of our organization. And you will serve as the chairperson of the district governor's advisory committee in your zone. So that is your responsibility. You are going to be the chairperson of the district governor's advisory committee in your zone. And as such, you will be required to call regular meetings of that committee. You also require the zone chair to promote the club quality initiatives to the clubs in your zone. It's also recommended and highly recommended that where possible, you should include the GMT District Coordinator, GLT District Coordinator, and the GST District Coordinator as special guests of your advisory committee. So if they are on island, you can invite them physically if you're having a physical meeting. But now, since we have all this technology available, you can also invite them into your meetings through the technology so that the GLT, GMT, and GST chairpersons can share with the advisory committee the goals and the initiatives for the year. So you're encouraged to have them participate in your district governor's advisory committee. And as required, you are supposed to report and required to report to the district governor as directed. The district governor will instruct you when she needs for you to make the reports, whether it be at a cabinet meeting, regional meeting, or a convention or conference. You'll be required to report when directed by the district governor. As zone chairperson, you will work with the GMT district coordinator to seek and organize new clubs where appropriate, with the GLT district coordinator to play an active role in supporting leadership initiatives within your zone, and with the GST district coordinator to play an active role in promoting the global service initiatives. So you'll work in partnership as zone chair with the members of your other members of the global action team to organize new clubs where appropriate and support leadership initiatives and promote the global service initiatives. You will also be required to supervise the progress of the district, multiple district, and Lions Club international projects in the zone. So in your zone, your clubs, you may have zone projects, or your clubs will have individual projects. You are required to ensure that these projects are successful, and especially if they are projects that may have been undertaken through grants from Lions Club International or through funds from the district. You are to ensure that these projects are conducted in the way that they should be. Ensure that each club within the zone operates under the duly adopted club constitution and bylaw. This is very critical. It's very important that clubs have their own constitution and bylaws and that they operate under them. And if they have their constitution and bylaws are not current, the zone chairs could work with them to ensure that their constitution and bylaws are up to speed. You as zone chair will also promote representation at the international and district conventions by at least the full quota of delegates for which clubs are entitled. Clubs will be entitled delegates based on their membership, and as zone chair, you should encourage them to send their delegates to participate in these meetings so they can be part of any decision making that is done. You don't want to have a decision made at a district level and your club was not able to participate either positively, negatively, or to indicate that you don't want to be part of it abstaining. So you should ensure that the clubs in your zone have as many delegates as possible at these meetings. As zone chair, you'll be required to visit the regular meeting of each club in your zone at least once. It doesn't prevent you from visiting often, but at least once you should make that visit, which is considered to be an official visit to the clubs in your zone. And you're required to perform such other functions and acts as required and directed by International Board of Directors through your district governor. So the test is now to tell me one or two. I will start with one's region chair. Tell me how many of those responsibilities, region chairs, were you able to write down on your sheet? Just one, anyone could choose. So tell me if it's okay if you didn't have any. That's why you're doing the training. So then, Dr. Paulette, were you able to have any of those responsibilities recorded at the start?
Well, yes, I jotted down some. As you said, the first thing that we must do is to meet with our predecessors, as you said.
Yes.
And with members of the district. Ensure that we are the connecting thread between the zone and the clubs. As the region chair, the zone chairs report to you, and you in turn report to the district governor. So you have to know that responsibility. There's a link between the clubs and the district. What again?
Very good. You're doing well. So I haven't gone through the training. I'm sure that you.
The global action team, and that in itself had some responsibilities.
Yes. So thank you so much, Dr. Paulette. And I'm sure that when the presentation is shared, you will make sure that if you haven't captured some of those responsibilities, that you're made aware of all the responsibilities. But also let me share with you now, I will share in that you also can go to the website and look for the region chair's manual and the zone chair manual. So those are the website as well. So you can do that have that as your resource. I'm sure you will hear about that a little later in the presentation, probably tomorrow or on Friday. All right, zone chairs, any zone chair that want to share whether or not they were able to record most of those responsibilities?
For me, Lion, DJ, is more the administrative officer, like between the clubs and the zone. So it's like up and down, and then also being liaison between the zone and the region chair. So that particular one is one I got.
Yes. Okay. Yes. So those are the standard ones, and then you will recognize there are many more responsibilities. So very good. So thank you for that. And you've done the preparation. Now you understand your roles and responsibilities, and now you're beginning to plan for the year. So what is required of you to plan for your year? And one of the first things I want you to be acquainted with is the District 60B Forward. You would have heard about the District 60B Forward for a while, and the pilot was started this year by Lion Denny's, and we're well on the way with the pilot. And it's the understanding that once the pilot is finished, most clubs will recognize that there is a benefit in District 60B Forward. We know that there's a benefit being part of the oversight committee, but we want the clubs to recognize that there's a benefit, and coming out of the pilot program is our hope that they can see that there's a benefit. And you as region and zone chairpersons will play an active role in the District 60B Forward. So you should familiarize yourself, if you haven't already, with the District 60B Forward. And as you plan, you'll be required to set goals for your term. You would want to set some goals to ensure that you can set a pathway, and then you can achieve the objectives. And you want also to prepare your activity calendar so that you can meet your dates and keep your deadlines. It's very important that you are aware of those important elements of your calendar, that you can set them out and make sure that you can at least be aware of them. So the District 60B Forward.
Lion Sherwin, can I ask a question if you go back to that slide?
Yes.
Yeah, it's just about the setting of your goals. I wonder if it would be wiser to have meetings with the clubs first before you determine what you're likely to succeed with, rather than you doing it in the absence of doing that. If it would suit you to speak with the clubs first, kind of get a sense of what seems to be achievable given where they are and then set those goals coming out of those initial conversations.
And you are so correct. A little later in two or three slides further, we will discuss that.
Okay, okay, good.
So I'm getting to that. Yes. So thank you for reminding me that we need to pay some time on that. Yes. So understanding District 60B forward. Those of you who probably have not paid special attention, now as Zone Chair and Region Chair, you should pay special attention to District 60B forward. It is a call for action to set and implement goals that will seek to solve the underlying problems that hinders club health and growth. We in the district recognize that there are some challenges in the club that is hindering, these challenges are hindering growth and club health. And we're not alone. Those of you who were in, I think in Jamaica, were made aware that in the Constitution Area 1, there too have a district, well, they don't call it District 60B, but also something that's similar to us, where they're trying to identify some of the similar challenges that we have. And I smiled when I heard it because it shows that we in District 60, we were ahead. We were visionaries and we recognized that there was a need and we started to work on it way back in 2018. So the District 60B Forward is a 5-year strategic plan for the period 2018 to 2023. The idea came up in 2018 and we started it then. And we are at the stage now through the works of the last 2 district governors. I would have started during 2018 when I was district governor and continued through Lion Leslie, and Lion Dennis would have done some excellent work to get the project started, and the clubs have responded and been doing good work on the pilot project. So I think next year is going to be a year of implementation for those 8 clubs in the pilot project, where we believe at the end of the year, then we should have some information to encourage other clubs to undertake, those clubs who may not have undertaken District 60B Forward, to show them the results so that at the end of the 5-year period, 2023, we can recognize that District 60B Forward did make a difference in the district. The goal of the District 60B Forward is to achieve long-term district and club sustainability and excellence. That is the overarching goal. And District 60B, we have the oversight team, the implementation team, and then you have the team at the club level. The oversight team is made up of the district governor, the immediate past district governors, district governor, the vice district governor, and some past district governors and past council chairs, members of the finance committee, and the IT and communication chair. Those make up the oversight committee. And where you sit as zone and region chairs is within the implementation team, where you as zone and region chair, along with the vice district governors, the immediate past region and zone chairs, members of the global action team, and the LCAF coordinator, you are part of the implementation team to ensure that District 60B Forward is implemented. So you as region chair and zone chair, this is where you sit, and this is where it is expected that you will support the District 60B Forward initiative. So what are your responsibilities as region and zone chairpersons as part of the District 60B Forward? You are required to facilitate the district commitment to implement the District 60B Forward at the club and district level. So you, as region and zone chair, will work to ensure that the district governor, the district commitment, which was made way back in 2018, and especially through the pilot project, is implemented at the club and the district level. You as zone and region chairpersons are required to engage and empower the clubs to develop and execute a club forward plan for their continued development as an extension of the District 60 Forward Plan. So the clubs, as you peruse the manual, the District 60, there's the District 60B manual, and as you peruse that, you will recognize that the clubs are required to produce a plan, and you as zone chair, region chair, you are required to work with the club to ensure that these plans are done. You're also required to maintain communication with the clubs and other designated stakeholders with respect to the objectives, plans, progress, accomplishments, and lessons learned. And this is very important, lessons learned and undertaking the District 60B forward plan. So as region and zone chairs, these are your responsibilities, or some of your main responsibilities as part of the District 60B forward. So I would recommend that if you haven't already, familiarize yourself with the District 60B forward. There is a manual, there is also a document call to action, which will guide you. And now we go into goal setting. And as was stated earlier, the recommendation is that as you prepare to set goals, remember I said to you that in your first 30 days, you should speak with your predecessor. You should also contact and communicate with the members of your District Governors Advisory Committee. And it is after those two consultations, you will recognize and you can start to put your goals in place as region and zone chairs. Region chairs, you will consult with your zone chairs. They will share with you what their goals are, and you would then determine what are the things that you, working with your zone chairs, can achieve during the year. Zone chairs, after having discussion with your members of the advisory committee, would determine what your goals are for the year. And to ensure those goals are achievable, you want to ensure that those goals are specific, that they're SMART. And by SMART, I mean specific, that they're measurable. You want to be assured that you can determine by measurement whether the goals are being met. So a simple goal could be to increase the membership in your zone through working with your presidents by 5%. And to measure that, you will get the membership of your zone, and you would at the start of the year and then at the end of the year, and you will know whether or not you had achieved that or not. Along the way, you will be taking measurements every month to know if you're on the way to achieve it. So ensure that your goals are measurable, and more importantly, that they're achievable. Don't set pie in the sky goals. Don't set goals that you haven't discussed with your advisory committee or your zone chairs and believe that, yes, this is the excellent idea. But then when you share them with the zone chair or the region or your club, the presidents, you recognize that these are not achievable. So in your meetings, you'll have an idea of what your goals, you would have communicated in your mind what your goals are, but through those meetings, you would determine whether or not these are goals they can go with, whether or not they're achievable. You also want to make sure that they're realistic. If you know that there's a challenge with membership in your zone, don't expect to increase them by 10% when you know that you can probably only make 5%. So 10%, yes, would be good, but it's not realistic. So you will set your goal within the realms of reality. And how can you determine whether you achieve these goals or not? You have to set a time limit. You can't set goals and say, well, I'm going to do A and B, but you have to say by when. So for the zone chairs and region chairs, it would be most likely not the end of June, but probably end of May, where in June you will have an opportunity to report whether or not you are achieving the goals. So you can set your goals and you can ensure they're time bound by setting the goals to be achieved by probably the end of May. So your goals should be SMART. And to the question earlier, yes, you meet with your teams as zone chair, you will meet with the members of the advisory committee, share your thoughts with them. They will indicate to you whether they believe these things are workable, and then you can go away and set your goals, ensuring that they're SMART, they are specific, no ambiguity, they're measurable, they are achievable, they are realistic, and you have set a time limit for them. Remember, Dennis Waitley said, the reason most persons never reach their goals is that they don't define them. So you must define them or ever seriously consider them as believable or achievable. Winners can tell where they're going, what they plan to do along the way, and who will be sharing the adventure with them. So remember, setting your goals, ensure that those goals are defined and that you are serious about them. You believe in them, because if you don't appear to believe that these goals can be achieved, the persons you want to work with you to achieve them will not be on the journey with you, because they will recognize that there's no belief in them. So ensure that your goals, and that you can share the spirit and make sure that these goals, you believe in them and that they can be achieved. And then part of the plan is to prepare your activity calendar. So as zone and region chair, you need to ensure that you're going to have zone chairs, zone advisory meetings. So you put that in your calendar. Depending on how many you're going to have, you try to determine your dates and your locations. So you can put that in your calendar and share that with the members of your zone. When your zone meetings will be, region chairs when your region meetings will be. I know some regions only have one region meeting, some have more than one. You will pencil those into your calendar. You will know when the cabinet conference and convention meetings are. You also know when the international convention is, when that is going to occur. You put that in your calendar, and then you can schedule your club visits. You working along, zone chairs working along with your advisory committee will schedule your club visits, and you put them in your calendar. And then working along with your district governor, the district governor indicate when she is going to make her official visit. And once you prepare that calendar, then you can share that calendar with region chairs, can share that calendar with your zone chairs, you can share that calendar with your advisory committee, so that everyone will recognize and keep the dates that you have scheduled. It allows for good planning, allows to ensure that you're always on point and you can go through the year not missing any important activity. So what are the skills required for success? So before we go into those skills, those other zone chairs who thought that they had gotten away, this is the time that you will then share with the rest of the team. So I will take you back to so zone 3A, prepare yourself to share with the team your name, the name of your club, the length of time as a Lion, how did you become a Lion, and your most memorable Lion experience. Zone 3A.
Distinguished Lions, fellow Lions, good evening. Thank you, Lion Sharon. Okay, so I'm Lion Avril Reed from the Lions Club of St. Michael, Barbados. I celebrated 22 years as a Lion yesterday, June 16th. I was a former Leo at my Alpha Club, which was the Ellerslie Leo Club. I served there as Leo president. I also served 2 years in the Bridgetown Lions Leo Club. How did I become a Lion? So after becoming a Leo, one of my colleagues whom I worked with at LEAC, I learned that she was a Lion, and we started talking. And then when I had expressed an interest of becoming a Lion, she then suggested she would sponsor me. So that was the transition for me. There are several memorable Lions experience for me, but what stands out most when asked tonight in this forum was when I served as membership chairperson. I thought that we had a very good year in terms of activities planned. I had coordinated a lot of role plays for the members. So you came to club and you never knew what to expect. And when we had visiting clubs, we also had these kind of experiences. So then outside of club, I was hearing about it. I was hearing about what I did and what was happening at the Lions Club of St. Michael. So I think that that was a good thing for us, because you didn't just want to come and go through an agenda and, just like figured there was nothing at the end of it. But I tried my best to make it one that was a very good experience. But along with that was the traveling to meetings, international and to the district, but doing projects, always a big thing. But particularly my membership year as chairperson was one of those most memorable experiences for me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and happy 22nd anniversary. And I know you will have many more years of service. Zone 3B.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Zone Chair 3B.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Lions. My name is Rosha Tobia. I am from the Viewfort Lions Club. I am from St. Lucia. I consider myself to be a budding Lion since it has only been 7 years, and I think I'm looking forward to the day where I can say I've been a Lion for 25 years. So, I want to add this. I think I'm very passionate about serving and giving of myself, especially to others. And I think my profession has a big part to play as I'm a teacher. My cousin, who is Lion Michelle, introduced me to Lionism as she took me to one of her meetings. And then from there, they stole my hat at that meeting. And I said that I wanted to be a Lion and I wanted to serve. So I am proud to be a Lion, and I serve with passion. The most memorable, the zone chair who spoke before me said, I think being the membership chair last year was very good. I think the number of workshops that I conducted, the little activities that we had at the meetings, I think it helped to develop me as an individual. In terms of service, I have to make mention of that feeding program that we had in our district. And we went to one of the schools, and after feeding the students and cleaning up, I just happened to just sit on a tree, and many students came around and they said, oh, I want to wear a jacket just like yours. And when I grow up, I want to be just like you, miss. And that really stole my heart. And I said, you know what? If I can help to mold a child at that age to serve, I think I'm well on my way and I'm doing something very good. So thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing. And I know with that passion, you're going to have an excellent year in
Thank
3B.
you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
3C.
Hello, good night.
Good night.
I'm Lion Kingsley Thomas. I'm the Vice President of St. Andrews, Lions Club St. Andrews, Grenada. I'm also the Zone Chair elect. I've been a lion for just around 10, 11 years, thereabout. I became a lion from after serving as Leo. I served as Leo for about 3 or 4 years, and then I went straight over into Lions. As a Leo, I serve as president, I serve as teamer, and I think I serve as vice president as well. In terms of my most memorable Lions experience, I have many experiences as a Lion. There's 2 that stand out to me. One in the region meeting in St. Lucia, I think that was in 2015, 2014, 2015, thereabout, where we had we as the team from Grenada, we arrived the Thursday before the meeting, so we went to this karaoke in the area there, and the St. Lucians came and they had a good time. One of the Lions, I mean, sadly that she passed away, was that karaoke session. And then during the regional meeting, myself and another Lion, I think from Barbados, we were asked to be tail twister, and I was the first person to be tail twisted at that meeting, and it was fun. I mean, I think we did a very good job at tail twisting. Of course, would have enjoyed that. And then after the meeting, we had some get together with St. Lucia Lions Club. We met at the first we met at the airport. The beach was at the airport, and then a shower friend came, and then went to the den, and it was a nice experience, you know. A lot of the Lions came around, and we were just chatting and getting to know each other, and so I think it was very exciting. I mean up to last week, I was telling somebody about it, and another experience for me is in 2017, where our club in Grenada here was able to, the St. Andrews Lions Club, were able to raise over $25,000 in foodstuffs, clothing, and water, and so on for the people of Dominica, who was badly devastated by the hurricane that year. So these were the 2 memorable experiences for me.
So thank you for sharing.
I look forward to greater things.
Yes, thanks, Kinsey. I look forward for greater things from you. I'm so happy that you have taken the proud step forward to take on this responsibility, and I'm looking forward to great work from you. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Ready? So quickly for A.
Thank you, Past Council Chair, Land Sherwin, fellow Lands. I'm Keris Harper, Land Keris Harper, from the Lions Club of St. Andrew, Jamaica. I've been a Lion now for 11 years. Since May 2009, I've been a Lion, sponsored by a good friend and colleague, Lion Claudette Brown, Melvin Jones Fellow. And I've been my most memorable, well, I've had so many memorable occasions, but serving the community in Harborview, I remember there was one particular project where we did vision screening and the issuing of free reading glasses. There was a 60-year-old woman, and when we fitted her with the glasses, she held up her hands and praised the Lions and praised God how she could see. You know, that stayed with me. She was moved to tears. And, you know, it was so good to see that an act of kindness can mean so much to these people we serve on, you know, from day to day, year to year as Lions. Thank you.
Thank you, Lane Keris. I know that you will do an excellent job. On to 4B, to my good friend and late colleague, Lane Eileen.
Yes. Good evening, Lion Sherwin and fellow Lions. My name is Elaine Robinson, and I am a member of the Lions Club of New Kingston. I've been a member of the club now for, I think, almost 28 years. Very long, right? And I became a member, really, and my children were at the point where I said they're no longer babies, and I think I can have time to give back to my community. And so I decided I would look for, something meaningful. And a friend of mine happened to be a member of the Lions Club of New Kingston, and she pulled me into the club. So that's how I managed to get here. She is unfortunately no longer with the club, but I'm still here, and I'm still enjoying it, enjoying the experience. As far as memorable occasions, like everybody says, there are lots of memorable occasions. But for me, the thing that sticks out in my mind was the largest project that I've taken on as a member of the Lions Club of New Kingston. It was a partnership site screening project with Lens Crafters. Lens Crafters came to Jamaica, and we partnered with them. And the project went over a couple of days, and we screened thousands of people. And the memorable thing about that was not just the numbers, but it was the fact that we engaged in that project people from across all the clubs in the zone, as well as outside of the zone, as well as Leos. And what was demonstrated was the camaraderie and the strength we have together when we work as a team. We left that project. Actually, I think we had the record of having the largest number of people screened. We screened thousands of people. I don't know if we've lost it yet, but we had the record for it. And I have a plaque that I got from Lens Crafters in relation to that project, and it's prominently placed in my office at work. And it really comes to me every time I look at it. I remember the project. It was really a meaningful one for me, and one that brings back, like I say, memories from the point of view of what we can do and the numbers we can serve. And for me personally, I like collaborative efforts. That's how I prefer to work, to be truthful. I'm not one in terms of clubs competing against each other. I much prefer us to come together to work and be able to touch more when we combine our strengths. So that's it for me.
Thank you, Elaine, and I know that you will have a good year. I know that, as you said, you have been in line for 28 years, and we know from our discussions that the time would have been right, and I think this is the right time for you to serve as zone chair. So we look forward to your work. Yes, and to the new zone in the district, 4C.
Hello.
Hello, yes.
Good evening, Lion Sherwin. Good evening, fellow Lions. I am Lloyd Kellerman. I am from the Lions Club of Tropical Gardens. I have been a member, I was a charter member, and so I've been a member now for 27 years. I kind of came into Lions sort of a roundabout way. So when I was at boarding school in Jamaica, I was exposed to Key Club, so I was a Key Clubber. After finishing university and coming back home, Rotary was creating a Rotaract club, and they asked me to join, so I joined that. That didn't last too long, and then I started to assist Lions Club of Grand Cayman quite a bit. I had an aunt who was a member of the Lions Club of New Kingston, Lion Colleen Pope. And so I was really exposed to Lionism through her as well. I realized that women could now become lions, and I kept prodding the lions with guys here for women to join. And so one of my co-workers one day came to me, Lion Philip Hislop, and he says, Laura, guess what? We're at that point, we're ready to have, we're going to charter a club for women to join. So that's how I joined. I was the second president. I became second president 2 weeks before I had my second child, who was very ill, who was on death's door and on life support machines for the major part of my year as president. But I got really good support from the club, from my club, from Grand Cayman Club. And so we were able to go through that period in our lives. one of the most memorable occasions is actually as president. I went to the Special Olympics. We're training to go off to join the Special Olympics team. And so I went one day while they were training on the court, on the field, and just there to give them some support. And also we were sponsoring some of them going away. And one of the guys came up to me. He was just so happy to see somebody else there who was not part of Special Olympics. And he hugged me and he thanked me 1,000,001 times. And I think that really resonated with me because it's different lives that we touch that we would not normally sometimes come across in our day-to-day lives. But we can touch lives that have an impact on those lives for a long time. That's my story.
Thank you, Lloyd, for sharing. Lions, zone chairs, and region chairs, I hope I've given you an opportunity now to better know the members of your teams. I'm sure some of you would probably have been hearing these experiences for the first time. So now you know the persons who will sit next to you as part of the district governor's cabinet, and you know them a little better. So now you can begin to communicate, hopefully a lot better, because you can understand the passion and you can start to build the relationships. So thank you all for sharing. So as we move on in the presentation, skills for success. And to be successful, there are some other roles that you as zone chair and region chair would have to play during your year. And what are these roles? You will be required to be a leader, to be a motivator, to be a communicator, to be a mentor, to be the counselor, and very importantly, you may be asked to be the mediator at some point in time. So as zone chair and region chair, these are some other roles that you will have to play to ensure that you are successful during the year. And one of the roles that I believe probably to be the most important, we take it lightly. In your position as region chair and zone chair, yes, you are considered to be leader, but what is leading? Leading is the ability to get others to follow or to do something that needs to be done. It is the ability to empower members of a group to create and realize a collective vision. And it is the ability to obtain significant, often extraordinary results from people. As a leader, there's a great responsibility. Don't think, well, because I'm the zone chair, I'm the region chair, I'm the leader. But as a leader, you have some responsibilities and you need to be able to demonstrate that you can get others to follow and do something that needs to be done to empower members of those groups to create and realize a collective vision, that vision that of Lions Club International, and to obtain significant and often extraordinary results as people. And as a leader, you must demonstrate that you can be a coach by developing others to succeed in their roles and prepare for future roles. So as a leader, you have a responsibility as a coach. You also have the responsibility as a facilitator. You'll be required to make things easy for others. You need to smooth the path members of your groups want to achieve. There might be some stumbling blocks. You will be required to facilitate it, make the path a lot smoother. You must demonstrate that you are a listener. Learn to talk less and ask, listen, and observe more. I know that can be challenging for some persons, but as a leader, you must learn to talk less and ask, listen, and observe more. Leading requires delegation. So you must be able to delegate, and delegate both willingly and strategically to provide opportunities for others to take on other roles in the organization. So because you're the region chair and the zone chair doesn't mean you have to do everything, but you also must be strategic in how you delegate. Don't delegate a responsibility to some person that you know will not be able to get it done. So you must give it up willingly, but you also must be strategic in how you delegate to ensure that you build the capacity for membership. You must also demonstrate that you are a decision maker. And that is also a difficult challenge sometimes for leaders. You have to make those difficult choices, but as a leader, you will need to be decisive and make those hard choices and decisions. As a leader, you also required to be a team player. Know when to be the teammate. Know and be able to understand that you can step down from your leadership role and let others lead. Don't believe that because you are the zone chair and the region chair, you must always be in charge. Know how to become or learn to become that teammate and let others take on the responsibilities. And of course, as a leader, you must be or you should be visionary. Have a picture of where you want the organization to be, where you want your teams to go, and why they should go there. Be visionary. And Kingsley Grant said, people don't follow leaders. They follow what they see in leaders. So zone chairs, region chairs, remember, persons don't follow leaders. They follow what they see in leaders. So if you look behind and you don't see anyone, you know persons don't see things in you. So always make sure that you can demonstrate that you can be followed so that persons can see what's in you. Then you are required to be the communicator. So what is communicating? Communicating is the ability to give or exchange thoughts, feelings, and information. Simplify and be direct. Say what you mean. As a communicator, you must be able to translate that message in a short and simplified manner. Listen and encourage input. Don't be the one making all the decisions and doing all the talking. Listen and encourage the persons of your teams to share the input. As a communicator, the best way, most persons are visionary and they like storytelling. Illustrate what you want done through stories and affirm with action. Don't just say you want persons to do things. Show that you're willing to go into the trenches. Show you're willing to roll up your sleeve and be out there on the front line serving with the persons in your team. So as a communicator, you should inform. And that's by providing information to others so as to get others to understand what you understand, which is very important. You need to get others to understand what you understand and to enable them to make informed and sensible decisions. As a communicator, you also want to establish relationships by communicating with transparency, making sure that your directions and your instructions are transparent, behaving consistently, showing sincere interest in others' aspirations and goals while taking responsibility for your actions. Building relationships as a leader is very important. And to do that, you must really show that you can behave consistently, be sincere in your interest of others' aspirations and goals, and take responsibility for your action. If you do something wrong, put your hand up and say, yes, I was wrong. As a communicator, you must also inspire others through your words and actions to work together towards achieving those desired results. And as a zone chair, region chair, you'll be called upon to be a counselor sometimes. So what does this require? As a counselor, you'll be required to give advice, assist others with any challenges, be it members of your immediate team or presidents or actually members. You must also offer empathy in order to build relationships. You must show persons that you really care about them, and that you can show that you care about some of the challenges that they may be encountering, and you really want them to get over them. And you must engender a sense of confidentiality. Persons will not share with you or open with you if they're not sure that you are going to be confidential. So that is required of you. So you're required to provide guidance, help the presidents to discover their full potential as a counselor. The willingness to listen. You heard me a lot speak about listening. Listening is very important. Have good listening skills. Those good listening skills, when persons recognize you're a good listener, it engenders trust. Help presidents to open up and disclose their thoughts. You want presidents to share their ideas. You want to encourage them to share their ideas with you and any challenges with you. And you want to display again empathy. Empathy comes forward as a leader and a counselor. You got to take time to listen, understand other person's perspectives, and also, more importantly, understand their frustrations. And as zone and region chair, you must also be a motivator. You must be able to motivate your teams and your presidents, especially when they go and get tough. And especially during this time of COVID, when presidents believe they had wonderful ideas, wonderful projects, and they're not sure whether or not these projects will be undertaken or whether or not their goals will be achieved, you want to be able to motivate them. And in motivating, you want to be able to induce high levels of morale and commitment towards the organization and its goals and objectives. You want to help the presidents achieve their personal goals, and you want to encourage self-development that results in personal satisfaction. So you also motivate them to take part in the training to develop themselves, not only as president, but beyond president. You want them to develop themselves and improve their morale. As a motivator, you want to create a safe and trusting environment. That safe and trusting environment gets the team to show appreciation for each other. Inspire confidence. Everybody loves to be around confident people. People look up to confident people. So if you don't inspire that confidence, then persons will not be willing to work with you. Inspire success. Funnel your energy and vision into clear action plans, embodying powerful practical strategies that get results. So if you want your clubs and your presidents and your zones to be successful, you have to funnel that successful energy and that determination and your vision into the plans and work with them. As a mentor, mentoring is the ability to direct less experienced or less knowledgeable persons. You as zone chair and region chair will be considered to be knowledgeable in Lionism, and your club presidents and your members will look up to you as mentors, and you want to be able to point them in the right direction by providing guidance, motivation, and emotional support, and especially being that role model by sharing one's knowledge, skills, and experience, and to assist others to move forward and progress. As a mentor, you'll be required to guide, influence the process, promoting best practices. You want to encourage those persons the best practices. You want to be supporting, not intervening in the decision-making process, but allowing the leaders to make their own decisions. You guide them and you support them along the way. You must also, as zone chair and region chair, to make sure you're available. Making yourself available to support and advise the team when they need it. Deliver that support in a way that makes the sense to them. You want to make sure that support makes sense, and always keeping persons' best interests in mind. So make sure you're available. When the zone chair is in distress, they want to reach out to the region chair. Make sure you're available to provide that support. Similarly, with a president in distress, and you reach out to the zone chair, make sure that you also are available. And finally, as a mediator. And what does this entail? resolving disputes so as to bring about an agreement and reconciliation. We know in clubs there will always be challenges, there will always be clashes of personalities, and as zone chair and region chair, you will be required to be the mediator, to negotiate in relationship to resolve any differences, and to guide conflicting parties towards their own resolution. You want conflicting parties to work together to determine what the resolution will look like. And as mediator, you will have to be facilitating. You got to inspire trust, and you got to resolve conflict by building teams that work together to set the tone for the organization. We have now reached the end of the presentation, and I hope that during this session, you were able to identify the requirements for your journey, describe and understand the zone and region chairperson's roles and responsibilities, know what is required to plan your year, and what those skills require for you to be successful. Mark Victor Hansen said, "Don't wait until everything is just right. It will never be perfect. There will always be challenges, obstacles, less than perfect conditions. So what? Get started now. With each step you take, you will grow stronger and stronger, more and more skilled, more and more self-confident, and more successful." So you take that step now. Don't wait until the perfect world will not be perfect during this year, but you must hearken to the words of Mark Victor Hansen. For those of you who may not have my contact information, I have shared my contact information in case you want to ask me a question or WhatsApp me at any time. Feel free to do that. It's my mobile number, 231-5618, and my email address is lionsharinggreenwich@gmail.com.
Lion
Are there any
Sherwin,
questions? I want to thank you for your attention. Any questions?
I do, Lion Sherwin, two if I can, two quick ones. Yes, I want to know, I was going to ask you, when you shared your details with us, I was going to ask you, aren't you going to share the presentation with us? Can we get the slides?
Yes, I'm sure that in Julia's intention that you will get the slides, yes.
Okay, great. All right. And the second one I think I want to ask is, I know yesterday, last night when we had the meeting with the incoming DG, there was talk about getting more data as far as collecting and archiving stuff. Is there anywhere at the district level any data on the clubs that we can have as far as membership? You can see membership patterns, the male-female ratio, and that kind of stuff, that we can have some background information on the clubs rather than having to ask them. Do we have anything?
Yes, you would have it at the district, but more specifically, you would have it at the international. When your name is sent up as your zone chair to international, you'll be invited to access to my line information, and you will see all the clubs in your zone, the membership, the number of females, the number of males when they join. You're going to have access to all the information for the clubs in your zone, all the members in your zone. You're going to have a lot of access.
Good. All right. Thanks.
Yes. Any other questions? Len Nicholas, I thank you for sharing the District 60B forward. He has shared it in the chat. So those of you who may not be aware, he has shared the link in the chat. Thank you, Second Vice District Governor-elect. Any other questions?
Len Sharon, Len Jefferson here. I'm not sure if this is a question for you or for the Cabinet Secretary. What about contacts for those zone chairs that fall under our purview? How do we access?
I'm sure the CASEC will send that information to you. He will send that information to you early, but also when at the beginning of, well, you may need it before the beginning of the year, but I think a week or 2 weeks before, subject to correction, you will have access once the information goes up international. and you will have access to who your zone chairs would be, and you will have all the information as well. But I'm sure that the CABSET will share with you, and if he doesn't share, you can just send an email to him and he will give you the contact information for your zone chairs.
Thank you much.
You're welcome.
Hi, Sharon, Alan here.
Alan.
One of the difficulties that we have in planning before the start of the Lionistic year is the the contact information for the presidents and secretaries. Some clubs are very late in submitting that information to international. So is there going to be another medium being used in the interim for us to have this information?
You can work through the CABSET. The CABSET would be able to provide information. Also, I know that hardworking Wendy, she's also always willing to assist with sharing that information as it becomes available on the website. She can also share that information with you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
Lion Sherwin, please permit me, it is not a question, but just following up from Lion Allen's question. We are fortunate in that there are only 3 clubs who have not reported their P101. So all the information on the new board for 2020-21 is on the website. So they can go on to, and I'm talking about LCI, My Lion, and they can find that information there.
Love you. Thank you, District Governor-elect. So Len Allen and other zone chairs and region chairs, a lot of the information is up there. So you can begin to your journey now. Start to make contact.
Thank you very much. I just checked my LCI. They're not available as yet. So they're keeping us waiting until July 1st.
Yes, and also as Len Maureen said just now, Len Wendy can also share with you the information that she may have available or point you in the direction where you can access it. Any other questions? Feel free that if questions come up, you can always drop me an email or send me a WhatsApp. I'll be accessible to you, and even more accessible, as Len Julie said earlier, I'm part of the global leadership team, so I'll be there for you.
Lansharing, Greenwich, if there are no other questions.
Yes, Len, Dr.
I'm grateful for the opportunity to move the vote of thanks on behalf of all of us here. 28 of us, in fact, who have benefited from your presentation. I can see that your presentation this evening was well prepared and, of course, well delivered. The icebreaker in particular gave us the opportunity to get a little insight on some of us and to see how diverse we are, but we're a powerhouse of years of service and opportunities that we can share with each other, which I find very useful. This COVID situation has some benefits because under normal circumstances, we would not have had so many persons participating in these presentations and training. So we find it useful, and I know that it is going to be placed on the website at the end of the 3 presentations. You have certainly set the pace for the next presentations over the next 2 sessions, which I know that the other presenters will do even better. I want to thank Lan Judy for coordinating these sessions, and of course Lan Wendy to be our technical support, and to all of us for joining in and sharing, and this is what it is all about. So, sir, it is with pleasure that I thank you on behalf of the team this evening. Continuous God's blessings on you and the rest of the team. We're going to do wonderful things in District 60B this year. Thank you.
Thank you, Len, Dr. Pollack. And I just looked at the watch and I recognized I also kept time well. So thank you so much.
You're welcome, sir.
So Lions, my role is only to say good night because Lion Sherwin has been thanked and all participants have been thanked. Lion Sherwin, what I liked is the participation that came from the persons listening. I found that they were engaged, and we hope that that will follow through for the next 2 sessions. As Lion Paulette said, this will only set us for making this year a very special year. So thanks to everyone for attending, and we see you at the same time tomorrow night. Your presenter then will be Lion Malcolm Kerwin. Blessings.
Thank you so much for the
Thanks to you, and
opportunity.
thanks to you, Lion.
Thank you.
Thank you and have a good night. Great presentation.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Have a good night.
Good evening. Thank you to everyone.
Thank you very much. Good evening.
Good night, fellow
Good
Lions.
evening. It was a pleasure.
Good night,
Good evening.